Hi guys, James here, thanks for coming to watch, and today we're going to discuss whether this pedal is completely overpriced, and in order to do that we're going to compare it to the pedal that everyone thinks it's based on, which is the MXR Timmy. It wasn't always MXR, but MXR are now in collaboration with the original maker of this pedal. If you go online and go on any forums, the pedal you'll probably most often see being discussed as overpriced is the Vemuram Jan Ray. Why is that? Well, most people seem to think it's based on the Timmy, which it may be. I'm going to take their word for it. Apparently the circuits are very similar, but Vemuram have said that they spent 3 years in development and that they've used the best parts and things like that. It's in a brass enclosure and whatever. Whatever they're saying, people aren't taking it. As far as I can tell, most people seem to think the Vemuram is just not worth it. I've had this for a couple of weeks and I'm in love with it. I think it's fantastic. It brings out the best of the amps that I've tried it with, and it's a real transparent overdrive pedal, but it costs a hell of a lot of money, and I was lucky to receive it as a present. I'd actually decided all year last year not to buy it for that price. And then I was very lucky my wife bought it for me as a Christmas present. And yeah, this is probably going to be on my pedal board, take the place of my always on pedal that I'd been using previously, which was the Thorpe EFX Peacekeeper. I'm going to do a video comparing the two of those as well. The Timmy has been around since the late 90s. The original ones now go for a lot of money. You know, they can go for as much as $1,000 or more. It's a much loved pedal, transparent overdrive. Really, it was like the first boutique type pedal, I think, doing that. Unlike tube screamers and clones, you know, it's not as shaped in tone, so that's why they say a transparent overdrive. It's a bit more than a boost, you know, you get some clipping, you get a nice tone, a very nice tone. So, you know, I think this is a valid test, and we're going to jump over behind me to the demo area and have a go between these two pedals. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll tell you what I think. I've not really played them side by side yet. I barely played with the Timmy. I wanted it to be fresh. So yeah, let's get on with it. Alright guys, so we're going to try something a little bit different today. I will show you what these two pedals sound like in isolation, and then we're going to put on a little looper and I'm just going to play along to that. And I think it's dawning on me that it's really important with these pedal comparisons and things like that, that ultimately they're there to be played in a band setting or in a studio setting amongst other instruments. So they can sound fantastic by themselves, but sometimes the really great harmonics and things that come out of them just get lost in the mix. So ultimately, if you're a working musician or someone who is really more interested in playing in a band rather than just playing alone, which is what a lot of us obviously do for fun, and it is great fun, then you want to know what the pedals sound like, and does the extra price really justify anything? So this is the guitar by itself. We're in the Bloomfield Drive today, which is, you know, that sort of Dumble-esque sound. So it's going to be quite thick and luscious. These are transparent overdrive pedals that are going to give you more of what the amp has, basically. If you see a clip of me playing with a Strat through a Classic Reverb signature with the Jan Ray, which I'll put here. You'll notice it's quite a different tone altogether, and that's the good thing about these transparent overdrives, the Jan Ray, the Timmy, the Nobles ODR1, things like that. They can really just allow your amp to sing even more. This is going to be what the Jan Ray sounds like. And you can tell that's got quite a lot of gain to it. And I was thinking, ultimately, if you don't have enough oomph behind you, you're going to get lost completely in a real setting. So I've given the pedals quite a lot of oomph today. This is the Timmy. So I don't know what you think about the two together. Let's hear them with the loop on. Been listening to a fair bit of Peter Green, which is a dangerous thing to do because that man picks every note right. It's fantastic. But I've just got a few ideas from him, like an albatross sort of thing going on. So what did I feel there? Well, ultimately, with the Vemuram and Timmy, I've got to be honest with you, those pedals are very similar. I was wasn't actually expecting that. I had purposefully not played with the two together, but just before filming and doing the sound check on the mics, and I've got to say, the mojo that I thought the Jan Ray had is very similar to the Timmy. If I'm playing alone, I wouldn't have this much, like if I'm just noodling about and enjoying myself, I'll have a lot less gain on, but that gets lost when you actually play against something. But let's see what that sounds like. Let's hear that with the Timmy. I think the Jan Ray definitely has more gain than the Timmy. The Timmy, you need to crank it quite a lot. And I think it will get to a point where the Timmy might not sound as good. So I think we should try that. So if we're going to crank the gains up, I don't know what's going to happen to the microphones here. So we're on the Timmy. Back to the Timmy. I think a lot of us are interested in what a pedal does on a double stop sound, aren't we? That's where you get that lovely sort of break. That's where you get that lovely sort of breakup. I mean, look, this isn't a definitive test. I thought about comparing a lot more pedals together, but I wanted to keep this pretty simple. These are the two pedals that people say are very similar, that Jan Ray has sort of ripped it off a bit. Vemuram, sorry, has ripped it off a bit. So what is it about the Jan Ray? Why would people spend 3 times as much? I guess if you want to stand out in the crowd, you know, as a professional, maybe you care about that sort of stuff. If you have a particular eye for aesthetics on your board, maybe you prefer the Vemuram. I've got to say, MXR always rub me up the wrong way, because they send out a manual with the pedals that's the same for every pedal, and it's a book with different layouts of different pedals and what it would be, but you never seem to just find the one pedal that you've got. So I had to look this up. So I've not played with the clipping. You know, ultimately, the question of overpriced is always subjective. I can totally understand all the people on the forums and things who say that Vemuram is just like a poser's pedal. It's just a copy of the Timmy pedal. It's Vemuram are being a bit cheeky, frankly. They won't own up to it. They won't tell you who they're copying. They do say it's based on you know, another pedal, but at the same time they say they spent 3 years in development with it, and there's some crap about why it's made out of brass and all of these things. Frankly, at the end of the day, it's like anything else. If you want something that's a little bit rarer, something that's a little bit different, then you're going to pay more, which is why the original Timmy now costs so much more money, way more than the Jan Ray. You know, maybe your favourite artist plays the Jan Ray. I know Kurt Fletcher uses one. But And when I got it, I was so excited because it sounds incredible, especially through the classic reverb, which you'll have heard earlier in the video. I think it just brings out the best in that amp, and I'm sure it does with so many amps, but I've got a feeling the Timmy ultimately does the same. I mean... So the feeling is lovely, you know, it's quite dynamic, but is it just the same? I'm not sure I could tell the difference if I didn't know which pedal was which. That tells you everything. Ultimately, they are very, very, very similar. You'd have to be, I think, looking. I do think, just on what I've played, and it's very hard to show you in a shortish video, that the Jan Ray may just be better at the extremes. I mean, if we turn the gain all the way back, let's see if we can match up a sound here. This will be the last bit. So there's not really much gain going on there, it's just a boost. And the Vemuram, in those settings, the Vemuram has the edge for sure. You just get a bit more feeling, bit more beautiful clarity and resonance. But if we turn up the Timmy almost all the way up, can it do the same? Not quite, so if you turn up the gain a little bit. Apologies for the very plain layout on the floor today. I want to get a mini pedal board like my big one without the gig rig, just for these little tests. I haven't got round to it yet. I think you could tweak the Timmy to sound as good as the Vemuram. It may not be quite as easy. The controls maybe not as good in terms of the specificity. But if I was giving anyone any advice and you wanted a pedal like this, a very transparent overdrive that can give you a nice boost with no colour, just brings out the best of your amp, probably go for the Timmy. The Vemuram is a very good pedal, but I feel like there's a bit of snake oil going on with everything to do with Vemuram. Although the Myriad fuzz is on another level. But the Jan Ray, I've got it, I'm very happy with it. If I didn't have the Timmy, I would think the Jan Ray was doing something really special. And I think it just has the edge, but not enough to be 3 times the price. And ultimately, that's the point. If you're building up your pedal board and you need to buy 10 pedals, saving 250 quid or whatever, 200 quid, let's say, on that pedal and on others, you're going to save so much money. And in a band setting, I don't think you're going to know the difference. So that's my answer. Is the Jan Ray overpriced? Yes, it probably well is. If it was 250 quid, looking like that with the brass and everything, and as nice as the controls are and everything, then I would say it wasn't overpriced. But it's significantly more than that, more than £100 more. So it's a very nice to have. but you can get it with the Timmy in that little box. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that one. If you have, please consider subscribing to the channel. You've got one more day until I pick the winner for the 1500 sub giveaway. So if you don't know what that is, I'm giving away a Nobles ODR 1 pedal. Just subscribe and comment. And later this week on Sunday, I'll be telling you who the winner is. So subscribe, comment, give this video a thumbs up. See you next time. Cheers.